planet. They're amazing, and I love what they're doing. This is Mr. and Mrs. Kyle and Melinda Nyseth. They are the owners of Navy Paddles, and I'm gonna let you tell everybody kind of what you're doing. But I just wanna kind of touch on something real quick, folks. If you catch this live, definitely tell us live. If you're catching the replay, hit hashtag replay. But let's take it a step further and let us know if you are a veteran, tell us what branch of service you served in. And if you are a first responder, tell us what type of service you do for your community as a first responder, because these folks are creating some incredible pieces of handcrafted memorabilia to honor people like you, right? So, Kyle, thank you for your service, first and foremost. Melinda, thank you for your service as a military spouse. And thank you very much for joining me today. I'm really excited to get a closer look at some of those beautiful pieces behind you guys.
Sure. Thanks, Trish.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Absolutely.
we are NavyPaddles.com. We've created a business in 2012 um, focused on the military and the service that the men and women have put into their career. So their memories and stories, we take those and put them into custom memorabilia, which started out as paddles. So that's why in the back here you see a couple paddles. The paddles started out to be a symbol or icon of teamwork within the SEALs and Marine Special Forces community. And so we've adapted that and now do it for all military. And we just want to take your memories and make sure that they're not forgotten.
And that's expanded also into the first responders, police and fire departments. We do a lot for those wonderful people as well.
Sure.
Yeah, no, and even further, you're doing some other really cool pieces as well that you showed me this week, and I definitely want to highlight that. But just so people who are watching can see, so for me, I was in the Navy from 1996 to 2000, right? I got out, and really and truly, the only thing I have to remember my service, like truly, is my boot camp picture, right? And I don't necessarily want to pass that on to my kids. I want it to be something a little bit more meaningful. So, and I want my father to have the same thing. So, I've actually hired Kyle and Melinda to make a paddle for my dad, and he might be watching, but might not be. But hopefully, we'll have that by Father's Day. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm gonna have something made for me too, because I only served for 4 years. Some of you served 20 years plus. Like Kyle's retired from 20 years. I'm pretty sure you've got pretty pieces of insignia and some awards and medals that you received, and I can see the paddle right behind you. That's gorgeous. That's got a lot of stuff on there.
Sure.
Yes, absolutely. We can fit a lot of, it's like a hanging shadow box just in the shape of a paddle, which stands for teamwork, camaraderie, being part of a team.
Sure.
I love that. I love that. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at this.
This is our trident paddle. Notice there's a trident at the top, all handmade. You can't get machinery to get inside these small grooves. This is all handcrafted work here.
And this paddle was created for IS-1 Tanner Monholland and has her nickname on here and her warfare devices and the logo. She was at Special Reconnaissance Team 2. We'd like to get this paddle to this person and be able to get it to him, but for whatever reason it got lost in the mix.
So
Gotcha.
Personal warfare devices that they've earned through training, correct?
Yes.
Warfare devices, and of course they chose the American flag wrap. We do this one quite a bit. We can wrap in any color, any style for any branch of service, but this one just happens to be one of our most popular. So
That is beautiful. Melinda, would you mind just kind of bringing that closer to the camera so we can see what that? Look at how beautiful that is. Now, Kyle, you and Melinda do the wrapping, correct, or is that mostly just you?
no wrapping. We have Kyle and his staff that does the wrapping.
She said we have Kyle and his staff.
I talk on the phone with people and I help to design what's going to happen, and then I pass it off to production, and they do all the beautiful work.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, I'm the business office. He's the production office. So on the back here, there's even a personal quote that we've engraved for them. So the front and the back can be used.
Oh,
The person,
wow. Okay.
yeah. And this is
Oh,
done with our
there we go.
special specialty stripe. There's a lot of different variations of wood stripe in this paddle. We make them in a variety of wood types.
That's beautiful.
Yes,
Wow. Okay. And then I see you've got the traditional paddle back there as well with the plaque on it.
this
That's
one is
just that is just sharp. That is so nice.
for a
Oh, wow.
foundation, and they're raising money to support Navy SEALs and their families and injured soldiers. So these go for table centerpieces at their wonderful events. And this has the SEAL Creed on the back.
Oh, wow. That is absolutely beautiful.
So these will be auctioned off to raise money um, for the foundation, the SEAL Family Foundation. We love supporting so many different foundations.
And these paddles will typically go for as much as $1,000. That's how much they're sought after. So it's
Right.
a thing. It's not like you're going to the Navy Exchange and you're buying a paddle at the Navy Exchange.
No, this is
So,
handcrafted from the beginning.
Yeah.
exactly. So the customer service side is where we're really top notch, as well as the quality of our product. We're head and shoulders the Tiffany's of paddle making or handcrafted memorabilia.
Yes.
We showed this on a video here.
That is so, I'm telling you, I'm blown away by that. If any of you know anyone who's like a coach for a little league baseball team or even like semi-pro or pro or a baseball player, are you kidding me? This is awesome.
So this is the official size of the home plate, made out of solid cherry. And then we made a bat to match. It's smaller than a normal bat because it has to fit across the plate. Of course, it can't be super long, but it's also made of solid cherry.
Wow. That is so cool.
Look at it this way, it's sitting up on little pegs, so it's above the plate itself. There's room in between. Put your
I'm
fingers.
I'm just saying I know a couple of guys who have some man caves in their garages that they would love to hang something like that up in there.
This is a hammer that we made for the Pike fraternity, which is
Oh, okay. All right.
Alpha, known as Pike, and they have a lot of members throughout the country. So chapters, there's like 250 chapters around the country. This is a pretty cool paddle we made for the fraternity.
Hammer.
A hammer, sorry.
And then
A hammer.
That is so neat. Oh, look at that. Wow.
then
So
we got this stand.
there's all kinds of sides you can put stuff on.
And then the stand.
And the stand that it sets on, yeah. Like that.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Darn cool.
So
Which
that could be, and I wasn't ever in a fraternity or a sorority, I guess it would be. But I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what goes on. Like there's usually like a head of the sorority or a head of the fraternity. So when you come in as, I guess, a junior or a senior and you're the head, then that would be something that you would display in your room or in your office or whatever. That is so awesome. I love that. So
the frat paddle.
I have a question for you though. If somebody says, so I was Navy, right? So for me, I would probably like a trident or an actual paddle, right? Is it custom to you? Do you find that all sorts of different branches want a hammer as well? Or is it maybe a specific MOS within a branch that would want a hammer?
So the Marines, I know the Marines out in Japan get the hammers a lot, as well as the Seabees. So
Okay.
are,
Yeah, the builders.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Army, there's the Army Reserve Battalions. They have the motto of that hammer. So that's primarily, or if you're a comic book junkie and like Thor,
Yeah, there you go.
that's what it was modeled after, the Thor hammer.
Yeah,
That is awesome. That's awesome. And you know what I'm also thinking too is like people who do like the cosplay stuff that like go to like the Comic Cons and things like that. You can sell those hammers and the trident bare. So people could like buy the wood themselves and then they can customize it however they want to. So you get the Thor hammer, the Aquaman trident, whatever, right?
There you go.
That's exactly right. Yes.
That's cool.
They can buy it just the bare wood and we give it to them and they dress it up, or they can have us customize it for them.
So, and I love that you say that you can have them customize it for you, because you and I have talked about this, and Kyle says if you can think it, we can make it, right? So, what are some different variations of things that you've done that it's like, wow.
So here's just some bear paddles.
Okay.
Here's a little mini matching paddle, so cute.
Aw, that's fun.
So
That's
again,
adorable.
some people don't want to have this big old paddle on the wall, but you can do it in a smaller version and pretty much have the same amount of stuff just in a smaller version.
That's really cool. That's a good
And also, there's been a couple people that retired and they wanted all three of their kids to get a paddle as well. So we did a big paddle for the dad retiring, and then three small ones for each of his kids that he personalized for them. So that was cool.
No, I love that. I'm gonna start a watch party real quick. I think this could be fun.
So some of the other stuff that we've done is we've got a hockey stick. You know, we do that a lot for the executive officers. You know, they call it the heavy hitter award. So they use the hockey pucks. So we'll inset the hockey pucks on the stick, and that'll have their logo on each hockey puck. And so that's one thing we've done. We've got some samurai swords. So why they want a samurai sword, I have no idea.
You never know, right?
Samurai sword that we do. There's a race called Jogging for Frogmen, and we made a plaque in the shape of a frog. You know, kind of the bone frog or the seal frog that you see. So it's actually in the shape of a frog. You can see that on our specialty plaques on our website.
What about the scalpel we're making for the surgeons?
Yep, we're making a wooden scalpel.
3 feet long, a scalpel.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that is cool.
Golf clubs. We've got wooden golf clubs that we engrave on for those that like.
We make
Yep.
and engrave on them.
Yep.
So for those people who are just watching this, if you guys check out their Instagram account too, they've got some fun stuff that they post on their Instagram, their Navy Paddles Instagram account. And I saw something the other day. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. We are in the beginning of spring, right? Mid-April, almost Easter. And for me, I'm in Tampa, Florida. The weather's starting to kick up. That means that the pool weather is going to be kicking up. People are going to start taking their kids and going camping this summer. And I noticed that you guys make some really cool custom paddles for people to hang up like on their back patio, or when they go camping, or maybe in their RV. So I saw some stuff like that, and I was like, oh, I would not even have thought of that. Like, that's such a good idea.
Kind of our rustic line for a beach house, a cabin, a lake house.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do some really cool custom made things like that. So, because I feel like, I mean, I know a lot of people like in the Tampa area, anywhere there's like lakes or rivers, you got people who kayak, and that's just a fun way to kind of celebrate that the great outdoors and the love for the great outdoors. So I love that.
Or even to decorate your mailbox.
That's true. I love it. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Can you grab that trident again? I really want to take another look at that. And remind me, because I know that you told me this, you live on 140 plus acres of land.
Yeah, it's 160.
That's correct.
160 acres of land, and you chop down your own trees to make these paddles.
Yes, we log our own lumber. We then saw the logs into boards. We then dry the boards and then plane them and use in these paddles.
So we have a lot of buildings with a lot of wood in them. I'll just say that. For a lumber yard.
And the other neat thing is none of this stuff is coming from China. It's
right.
All America, all made by veterans.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my dad's a veteran. He's helping in this. Joan, another one of our contractors, she was in Air Force. So all of the people working have in some way been connected to military.
Right.
Oh, I love this. I love this. Okay, so let's just talk for people who are like looking at this stuff and going, "Man, you know what? I'd love to buy that for myself or my spouse or my dad or my uncle or whatever." What that paddle right there, that trident that you're holding up, Melinda, what would that cost me? Because that looks like it's got pretty much all the bells and whistles on there. What's a price that would be accurate to say for that?
Um, for for this paddle, which is specialty striped, and the trident on the tip, which I told you is all handmade,
Hmm.
with the upgraded wrap and lots of engraving on front and back,
Hmm.
would be $150.
You said repeat that. You said 350?
$250.
Two two
And
hundred and fifty dollars for all of that?
plus
Oh,
shipping. Yeah.
for wow, that's incredible. Like that's a
And
phenomenal
told,
price.
and told we need to raise prices. So get in quick before we figure it out.
And what about this one, Kyle? Show me that one. That one's beautiful too.
This one was for a Marine Division, fourth uh, Force Recon Company, Fourth Mardiv, and you can see the guys, the group. So you can have a picture put into
Mm-hmm.
the plaque
Oh
as well.
my God, that is beautiful.
A lot of picture plates for people.
So even for like wedding
Mm-hmm.
gifts for groomsmen,
Yeah.
you know, if you're having an outdoor wedding and you like hunting and fishing, you know, you can commemorate the day with a paddle.
Hey, can you lift that up again? I want you to show us that handle again because didn't you just do a custom one, Don't Tread on Me, where you actually wrapped the cord around to make it look like the snake?
Oh, he made a snake that coiled down.
Yeah. I made the snake and then attached it over top of the wrap. So yes,
And
we've
you
done.
didn't even, you're so crafty, Kyle. Like you're amazing. Like you didn't even really know how to do that. You learned how to do it and you made it happen.
And there again, it was the customer that said, "Hey, I want this paddle to look like this."
Like the Don't Tread on Me flag.
Yeah, it wasn't my idea. We just do what the customer wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. I'm serious. For those of you who are watching this video, if you have someone who you know yourself, your spouse, your son, your daughter, niece, nephew, whatever has served or is serving, this is what an incredible way to commemorate their loyalty and their commitment to serving this country. And then of course again, first responders. You said that you did a custom one for a surgeon, a custom knife, like a
Yep.
big wooden, that's incredible. That is such a good idea.
So I know there's a lot of Vietnam, Korea era veterans out there, and their kids get told a few stories, but a lot of the stories aren't known. And so your dad or grandpa has a box of stuff, and it comes out on a holiday, maybe. And what's all this stuff, Grandpa? What's all this stuff, Dad?
Yeah.
And they may say a few things, but then it goes back in that shoebox and goes up in the closet again. Well, why do they keep that stuff? Why not just throw it out? You know,
Right.
must be
Right.
why they continue to keep that. So what I did is I had the same situation. My dad was in Vietnam. It was in the shoebox up in the thing. I'd see it every now and again. I took it from him
In a secret.
in a secret.
Secretly.
We put it into a paddle, something like this, with his dog tags on it on the back,
Oh, wow.
his work jacket patch. It had his original ribbons and medals from back in the day, which looked different than what they currently do now, and made it as a Father's Day gift, like you're going to do for your father. And man, you hate to say it, but he got all choked up when he looks at this paddle. And now where does it hang? It hangs right next to his chair in the living room, and he gets to look at it every day now and remember all those great memories that he had when he was in the military. And also, it allows now his grandkids to ask him questions. Hey, Grandpa, what's this all about?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a piece of history that can be passed on for generation to generation because the sacrifice, even though it might have only been 4 years because he was drafted, that sacrifice needs to be honored. That's
Yeah.
something, no choice. You
Right.
know, so many men and women that had no choice that fought for this country.
Mhm.
Luckily, now we have the choice to fight for our country, and we're not made to. But that wasn't always so.
Right.
Remember the history behind our country is something that we we really want to preserve.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. And I love what you said about how, kids look at that and they're like, "Hey, what's that?" Because, they look at the same picture over and over again. Or if you have a picture sitting out there, pictures are great, but they don't strike I feel like they don't strike up as much conversation as something as eye-catching as that. Like, "Whoa, what is that?" Like, what's that all about? And what does that thing mean? What is that coin for? And what is that medal for? I mean, again, I completely agree with you. I mean, I got my EAWS rating and I did that in like 3 months time. It was supposed to be a 6 month thing. So that was something I'm super proud of because I did it in half the time. And it was the one last thing that I could do to get an outstanding on my final marks before I got out. And there's a whole story behind that. People, we want to tell those stories. We're proud of that, right?
And you got little kids, okay? Where's your EWS badge? I don't see it on your wall behind you.
You're right. I'm telling you.
Part of your history. They
No,
don't
you're
know.
absolutely right. So I want to do that. I want to get that. I got my command patch. I do have my command patch still too. And I want to get that onto my paddle so my kids got that and then they can fight over who's going to hang it on their wall when they go off to college or buy their own house.
So, no, this is a craft of honor for us.
Yeah.
We appreciate every day the people that we get to work with.
Yeah, and for me, hearing the stories keeps me connected to the military as well. If you do something for 22 years and you spend that time working on a career for 22 years, and then they boot you out the door and they say, "Hey, you can't come back to work." It's kind of hard to take initially. At least it was for me, and I think there's other veterans out there that have that same feeling.
Yeah.
So to stay connected to the military the way we have, it's really helped our family as well. And we enjoy that energy and excitement that all these young men and women have in the military that keep us young in doing what we do.
I love that. I love that. And it's not again, you have your photographs, but your photographs they fade, they get tattered and torn. How many times you move and a couple of times and can get lost. You've got coins, but coins rust, they also get lost. So this is an opportunity to take all those things. Even t-shirts, we got t-shirts and t-shirts are great, but our kids take them, our wives take them, our husbands take them, they get lost, they get stains on them. I mean, this is something you can hang up on your wall and is protected and it lives on forever. So, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you if they want to order a trident, a paddle, a hammer, or anything else for that matter?
NavyPaddles.com.
NavyPaddles.com.
Another cool thing for those people that are still in the military are going, I don't want to, I'm single. I don't want to carry this thing from command to command to command. I've got a better solution for you. Get the paddle because you're going to want to remember that history, but we've got a display box that it can go into. So now when you have all those uniform items that get lost, between all the different uniforms, you have one place where you can put all your uniform items, like your gloves or some shoulder boards or extra
Oh
work.
yeah.
They're all the miniature medals versus your large medals. All of that stuff can then go in one box. It's all your stuff, and it can transfer from command to command.
And your paddle fits in there too.
And it easily goes underneath your bed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's a great storage for a lot of stuff, and
it keeps you organized with all your military items.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's just great. I love this. All right, so navypaddles.com. If you guys are interested in ordering anything at all, reach out to them. You can also message them on their Facebook page, Navy Paddles, and they're also on Instagram. So if you guys are more on Instagram than anywhere else, make sure you reach out to them, Navy Paddles, on Instagram, and shoot them a message, a DM, and let them know that you saw their video. And make sure you let them know you saw their video on Facebook Live because that helps us all out, lets us know who we're reaching and how well we're reaching those people. So, Kyle and Melinda, thank you so much for what you're doing. You guys rock over at Navy Paddles. Your hard work and dedication is appreciated. And if anybody wants to make an order, make sure you reach out to them and make sure you reach out to them sooner rather than later because those prices are going to be going up. That's a lot of hard work going into those. So, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you taking the time to interview us. We love talking to you, Trish. Thanks for all that you do.
Yay, right back at you. All right, you guys have an awesome afternoon, and I will talk with you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks.